finally, we have a spot where we can analyze Mr. Shields. He, of course, signs a 4-year contract, around 70-something million bucks, to go pitch in San Diego. A vesting option would make the total deal worth 91. And obviously, Shields probably maybe wanted to go to the Dodgers. We've heard rumors about that. Shields maybe had a bigger contract along the way earlier in spring, in the off season. He got a little greedy, maybe. He didn't sign it. He ends up getting a deal that you thought he'd get a little more for when the offseason began. He ended up in San Diego. The 4 years, 72. Yeah, he'll like it there. It's a great pitch, a great park to pitch in. The weather's good. I mean, it's a situation where the team has got something going on. You got a great pitching coach. You got an excellent manager who's an ex-pitcher himself. You got a new feel of the team with Kemp and with Upton and with Will Myers, and you feel good now if you're a San Diego Padre fan. The GM has done a superb job. No championships are won in the offseason, but he's put a tremendous amount of people in there. Cashner and Ross and Ian Kennedy. I don't love Benoit as a closer. I grant you that. But Shields here makes the Padres, if they weren't already in the conversation in the NL West, now he really puts them in the conversation in the NL West. It's a big ballpark. He's out of the DH scenario. He had success with Kansas City. He's going to make his 32, 33 starts. All right, we don't worry about the postseason not out of the gate. That's an issue for him down the road. Let's see if San Diego plays any postseason baseball in his 4-year deal there. This is a good landing spot for him. This is a good situation for San Diego. And now the Padres, I'll tell you, think about this. This is a franchise that historically has not spent a ton of money on free agents, that historically has not gone crazy, sort of building from within and not going outside the organization. But they bring Upton in. They don't worry about his free agent status after 15. They make a move to get Will Myers. They trade for Kemp. They take a chance on his health. They're going to stick him in the outfield. They don't worry about if Myers can play center field. They bring in the trade with Boston. They hope Middlebrooks, they keep their fingers crossed about him. I mean, really, they have done a superb job. They have remade the franchise. They have given them a new feel. They have gone out there and they tried to be proactive instead of reactive. The Dodgers haven't done a lot. They've changed their roster some. Obviously, San Francisco, they haven't had to do a lot. They've won the 3 titles, but they lost Sandoval. They didn't bring a lot of pitchers in. They're going to keep their fingers crossed that Kane and Pagan are healthy for a change to go out there and get the job done. But the Giants are quiet. Colorado didn't trade Tulowitzki or Cargo. Arizona made some moves. I get that. I still don't love their starting pitching, but they bring in, Tomas, and they hope that he can get the job done, get a little help with Trumbo and with Goldschmidt, and they changed their front office thing with Stewart and with Chip Hale. Diamondbacks, too, to a certain degree, but San Diego is the team. White Sox in the American League, Padres in the National League. They are the team now that has put themselves on the map here in 2015. This is a good spot for Shields. The contract is manageable. 4 years, 72? And let me see if I can do my math in my head. It's about, $16 million a year? $17 million a year? That's not going to, or $18 million? That's not going to break the bank. They, I guess, saved some money. They got money back from L.A., 30-something million to help pay for Kemp. So this first year is not incredibly costly with him. They can put Shields in that situation and go sign a contract for Shields, give him more money. We don't know what the breakdown is, but they can obviously figure it out with the Kemp deal, with the deferred, with the money they got from L.A. They can figure out how they're going to handle it with Shields. It's a good move. It's hard to argue. Shields waited long enough. Spring training's a week away. Listen, he's been in Arizona with Kansas City. No way he's not going to like this. This is he's in a good, that's a big ballpark. I mean, that team's got a chance to be good. I mean, San Diego, I love it. They've gotten part of the conversation going. I'm sure ownership went out there and said, you know what, we got a lot of TV money with Fox. Let's go out there and be spoken for. We got the All-Star game in 2016. Why can't we be good? Why can't we be like L.A.? Why can't we be like San Francisco? You think now that Upton, if he wants to re-sign down the road, he has a big year. Why not the Padres? With the future that they have as an organization, they can lay off now with Camels. They don't have to trade Cashner for him. Cashner, if he ever stays healthy, he's got big stuff. Ross is 6'8", who's got ability. Kennedy knows how to work himself around a season. He can work himself around that 9 innings and that Bud Black's good. The pitching, there's a lot to love, and I'm very happy here that Shields ends up there. Good for baseball. It's good the White Sox got Samardzija. It's good the White Sox got Cabrera. It's good the Cubs got Lester. It's good Toronto's made some noise with Russell Martin. Pirates haven't dissipated. They're still in the mix. So it's kind of good that these other teams have been in the mix here. I mean, the Yankees have been quiet. Dodgers, obviously made some moves, but they're out of it as far as the big free agent trades are concerned. The Red Sox didn't get the big free agent pitcher, so you like that. So you like what's going on. Philly's quiet. So the Marlins, you like where baseball's been here in this offseason, and I'm all for the mid-market team going out there and making some noise. And, listen, are the White Sox Padres? Is that going to move the television needle? We'll worry about that down the road. Bottom line is, the more teams in the mix, the better. San Diego now will be a factor. Now, the one thing about the Padres that you got to keep an eye on, that is going to be interesting now come spring training, everybody's going to have this world of expectation for them, and how they respond to that's going to be interesting. And it takes teams sometimes time to gel. They don't all of a sudden gel right away with all these new moves. They got to get to know each other. They brought in 1 million new players. It's going to take a little time, I get that, and there'll be a little pressure on Bud Black because he has to win now. No more excuses. Well, you know what? He's got a low payroll. What do you expect? All right, they're spunky, they're crafty, they play hard. That doesn't work anymore. Bud's going to have to win. I get that too. This is a 90-win team. There's no way around it. If you're going to analyze San Diego, beginning of spring training, with the middle of the lineup, with what it is, with Kemp and Upton, and then Will Myers that you expect to have a big year with, and then you analyze where you are at the starting pitching. Those are 4 good starters. I grant you Benoit's not Trevor Hoffman, but if you analyze the team, this is, I think, should be a playoff. If the Mets can talk about being in the playoffs, if the Marlins can talk about being in the playoffs, if the Cubs can talk about being a factor, why can't San Diego? San Diego here, love what they've done. Bullseye on their back. They're going to have to respond to that. But there's a new feel in San Diego. It's about time. Padres back in the conversation in the NL.